Shabba ranks. One, go, two. Let them shabba ranks. Shabba ranks. Shabba ranks.
Hey everyone, this is Team Blitzen from Amazing Lights, and I decided that it was time for another tutorial. It's only been probably like a year since I posted one on my personal page. But what I wanted to basically cover was something that I haven't seen anything yet for. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, I just haven't found anything myself. But I wanted to focus on musicality. And the way I'm going to teach this is it's not going to be, I'm not going to be teaching, you know, how to glove to certain genres or, you know, give you any specific move set per se, but what I'm going to teach you guys how to do is how to listen to music a little bit closer, because what I've seen lately in the scene and the trend is that, you know, the more technical that people are getting, and there's no problem with technical light shows at all, but the more that I see it progressing in this sense, people are, you know, starting to not really pay as much attention to the music. And, you know, wasn't that the first reason we started gloving in the first place, you know, finding a way to basically, you know, represent or like our own portrayal of the music that we're listening to. Because if we do pride ourselves on the fact that this art form is a type of dance, then music is very important. So this is going to be a very basic tutorial. So for those of you guys that maybe find that this is moving a little bit too slowly paced for you, I can give you guys a few suggestions at the end on how to practice this in a more advanced setting. So I'm going to ask you guys to try and bear with me in the way that I came up with the way to explain this. It will seem a little tedious, but by the end I promise you guys will see the point to it, or why I decided to teach it this way. So let's just jump into it. So what I did was I kind of sketched out a very simple beat for you guys. There are 4 components to it. And by the way, if you don't know any of these terms, don't worry, I'm going to try and simplify it as much as I can so anyone can learn this. So in this beat, there's a kick drum, closed hi-hat, a clap, and vocals. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys, and then we'll move on from there. So there it was, kind of looped for you guys. Again, very simple, and I simplified it for the fact of catering to this tutorial and for everyone, all different skill levels, to be able to learn from it. So what I'm going to do is with each component of the drum loop that I made, we're going to assign a certain finger roll to it. And I use finger rolls just, again, because it's a very basic concept and anyone can follow along. People that want something more advanced, maybe try and assign a different move from a different concept, and I'll explain how that's going to work. So let's just take the kick drum. So this is the kick drum isolated by itself. So with kick drum, we're going to do just a basic finger roll. So every time it hits, alright. So now we're going to move on to the next piece, which is going to be the clap. Now the clap is a lot quicker than the kick drum, so you guys are going to have to pick up the pace to be able to keep in time with it. So for the clap, we're going to basically be doing a circle finger roll. You guys can do, again, modify it however you want, but the key is to keep in time with what you're listening to. So let's go ahead and listen to that. So every time I was moving and connecting my fingers was basically when the clap was hitting. So the next piece is the closed hi-hat. And for that, it's even quicker than the clap. Almost continuous. So we want to add something to kind of visually represent that. So in which case I came up with using the infinite finger roll. Again, this is very subjective, so whatever move you guys think looks better than this, maybe you guys can come up with something better, then I emphasize going for it. You'll see in the end why it really doesn't matter too much. But if you want to follow along, then go ahead and do infinite finger roll. Alright, so you guys saw how that kind of had a continuous flowing effect to it. And then the last piece is the vocals. The most simple part, but the part that when people are watching a light show, or from what I've noticed, that if there are vocals in a track or something, people are listening to that and focusing on that. So you really want to do something that's going to emphasize what the vocals are, basically, or the vocals themselves. So for this, very basic, but we're just doing a finger roll back and forth. Every time you hear the vocals play, you're going to go ahead and stop in the middle here.
Right away, right away, right away, right away, right away.
Alright, so that was all 4 parts: the kick, the closed hi-hat, the clap, and the vocals. So now this is where everything kind of comes together, and you're going to see why I decided to teach it like this. So what you're going to do what you're going to see me do, and then I hope that you guys would do it on your own to kind of see what I'm trying to teach here. You want to emphasize each part that we just learned. So if you remember the moves that we did, for the kick we had just the finger roll in place. For the clap we had this kind of circular box something finger roll. And then for the closed hi-hat we had the continuous one. And then for the vocals we had just the back and forth finger roll. Alright, so as you guys see, as I'm moving through these 4 moves, I am emphasizing each part of the drum loop, basically. And you don't even really need to remember what each move was, because as soon as you see me do it, it's going to really bring out that part of the loop and bring out that part of the music. So I'm just going to go ahead and just mix everything together, and then your guys' challenge, especially if you guys are beginners, is figure out what part I'm emphasizing. Shouldn't be too difficult though.
Right away, 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 right away.
Alright, so I kind of just mixed everything together there, but you guys could, it really did bring out each part of the music and each layer of it as you saw me do the move. So basically in this lesson, now you apply it to songs that you're listening to. Don't try and just, there isn't always just one tempo to what you're listening to. The different layers is basically what we're emphasizing through our shows. So to practice this, if you guys want to go ahead and pick a song, listen to it once, find one part. If it's either, it could be part of the drums, it could be the vocals, it could be the synth, it could be whatever. Listen to it and then glove to that song after and say, all right, I'm really just gonna focus on only doing movements that emphasize, let's say, the synths, you know? So let's say you're only gonna do these finger rolls every time you hear that synth. So the person watching it, it's really gonna bring out that part of the song for them, or, you know, whatever's playing or during the set. And, excuse me. So this is what I have found in the way I practice per se, musicality. And on my closing point, musicality there's no big secret behind it, you know, and it's something that anyone can practice, like any concept. And, you know, and just like any other concept, there are some people that are just better than others, but you can still practice and work to get better at it, you know? So that's what I'm really trying to encourage in this tutorial. More so specific moves. It's just listening to the music, you know, and trying to bring out certain parts, because when you watch like dance routines, for example, you know, that's the entire routine. They're basically portraying the song with their choreographed moves. And I'm not saying that you have to choreograph it, but just listen, you know? And again, if for advanced lovers, if you want to practice this, try using more advanced concepts to practice it, you know, or songs that seem way more complex, you know, songs, I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, oh, you can't glove to hardstyle, when I disagree to that, because of course if you're just gloving to that, you know, really quick kick drum, then it's going to seem really difficult to just follow that one tempo. But, you know, if there's vocals or if there's a synth going on behind it, I guarantee it's going to change your pace, maybe slow it down, and you'll see something that you didn't see from the beginning. So anyways, that's my tutorial. I really hoped it helped. It took me a while to kind of come up with. I'd love your guys' feedback or videos, or if you practice it on your own, go ahead and send them my way. I'll leave a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So if you guys want to go ahead and talk to me or whatever, please do so. And I really hope this helps, and have an amazing day.